Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're cracking open, well, probably the oldest existential mystery there is. What happens when we die? We're going deep into the source material from one of the most foundational texts of Indian philosophy, the Katha Upanishad.
And this text is just so pivotal. It doesn't just ask that ultimate question of existence. It actually tries to answer it. It's a dialogue, a whole philosophical roadmap for finding immortality.
Okay, let's unpack this setup, because the framing device is, well, it's incredibly dramatic. You've got this young, really persistent kid named Nasiketas,
Right.
and his teacher, a very reluctant one, is none other than Yama, the god of death. I mean, what an incredible high-stakes classroom.
It's the ultimate high-stakes negotiation, really. So the story starts when Nasiketa shows up at Death's house and just waits there for 3 nights with no food.
Which is a huge breach of
A
hospitality.
massive one, especially for a Brahmin guest. So to, cleanse himself of this error, Death has to make a big apology. And that apology comes in the form of 3 wishes.
And that sets up this perfect dramatic device. The first wish is pretty mundane. He just wants to reconcile with his father. But the second wish, that's where the philosophy really starts to kick in. The fire of heaven.
We should pause on that second wish because it defines the whole philosophical gap that Nasiketas has to bridge.
Yeah.
He chooses to learn about the fire that leads to heaven.
The Nasiketas fire.
Death actually names it after him, yeah. And this isn't just about, some ritual. It's about mastering a path that gives you a reward.
So a path to heaven, but not the final destination.
Precisely. The sources are really clear. A man who knows this fire and does the triple right, he crosses over birth and death. He gets past sorrow, rejoices in heaven. Death even praises him. But the key here is that Nasiketas already gets that this is temporary. It's the good, but it's not the best.
So he's already moved past that first layer of spiritual desire, which
Yeah.
brings us to the famous third wish, the one that really launched this whole deep dive.
That's right. The third wish is the ultimate question, the great doubt about a man who is dead. Nasiketas basically asks, what's the final truth of the self after the body is gone? Some say he exists, others say he exists not, and he insists on this as his final wish.
And Death is immediately, almost violently uncomfortable with this, which is fascinating, right? I mean, this is Death himself. He knows the answer, but he really, really doesn't want to give it.
He resists so fiercely. He says the topic is hard to understand, it's subtle, and that even the gods of old had doubts about it.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he launches into this full-on distraction campaign. He tries to sway Nasiketas with every single worldly pleasure you can imagine.
He literally offers him the entire material universe.
It's everything.
Wealth, a long life, power, lovely girls, chariots, lutes. I mean, if you think about that list, wealth, long life, beauty, entertainment, it's basically the 4 pillars of modern advertising.
It is. It's the original consumer's delusion, the profound theft of commitment. Death is trying to show that every human desire is just a delay tactic to avoid this one single question.
But the boy is he's steadfast. He refuses. He points out how fleeting it all is, especially because he's literally standing in the presence of death.
Exactly. I mean, how can you promise me a long life when yours to you? Anything Yama offers, Yama will eventually take back.
Right.
And that steadfastness is why Death finally gives in. He praises Nasiketas, says he's worthy. And that's maybe the first key lesson here for all of us. True knowledge demands that you turn down everything else first.
So once Nasiketas is deemed worthy, the real teaching starts. If this is the supreme knowledge, what's the main thing that stops people from getting it?
The primary hurdle is ignorance, and it's fueled by materialism. The Upanishad calls it the delusion of wealth. It talks about the careless fool who's so deluded they think, this is the world, there is no other.
So if you believe the physical world is the only reality, you just stop searching.
And you fall into death's power again and again. You're just stuck in the cycle, this path, this transit to liberation. It stays hidden from you. The knowledge itself is so subtle, it's beyond what our senses can pick up.
So if the careless fool can't get it, and it's beyond reason, how's it described? You said it's intensely subtle.
It is. The doctrine is described as being smaller than the size of an atom, and it's totally beyond argumentation. You can't debate your way into this.
You have to experience.
You have to experience it. But the text offers a crucial piece of hope. It's easy to grasp when it's taught by a superior teacher, which highlights how important a good guide, a guru, really is.
Okay, so if it's beyond reason and smaller than an atom, how do you even begin to approach it? What's the entry point?
Death gives him a direct tool, a sound, one that's proclaimed by all the Vedas, by all austerities. It's the syllable, Om.
The universal sound, the vibration of existence itself.
That's it, precisely. This syllable is declared to be the highest Brahman. And for you listening, Brahman here is the ultimate, fundamental, impersonal reality of the universe.
So OM is like the verbal handle for that reality.
It's the crucial anchor point. The text calls it the farther shore for those who wish to cross the danger. It's your raft.
That feels like a huge shift from this vast cosmic idea of Brahman to something you can actually do, something you can experience. So how do we apply this? Does death give us a concrete model for, I don't know, the structure of our own self?
He absolutely does. And this is probably one of the most famous and, frankly, practical analogies in all of philosophy. He gives us the chariot. It's a complete blueprint for self-management.
Okay, let's break this down piece by piece because it really does map our inner world perfectly. What's the fundamental self in this analogy?
The self, the Ātman, is the rider in the chariot. It's the owner, the true experiencer, but it's passive. It just sits and observes.
And the physical part? The body?
The body is just the chariot itself. It's the vehicle you need for the journey.
So if the self is just the passenger, who's actually driving?
That is the intellect, or buddhi. It's the skilled charioteer. The intellect has to be sharp, focused, discerning. It's where your wisdom and decision-making live.
And what about the mind? That feels like the most chaotic part of us.
The mind acts as the reins. It's what connects the charioteer to the horses. It receives signals from the senses and the intellect, and its job is to transmit control.
Okay, so then the 5 troublemakers, our senses.
The senses, sight, hearing, touch, all of them, they are the powerful, often wild horses. They just want to run wherever they see something shiny or attractive.
And then the paths they're running on.
The sense objects, the sights, the sounds, the tastes of the world. Those are the roads that can lure the horses right off the main path.
Wow. That makes the task of being human so clear. The self needs the intellect to use the mind as reins to control the senses. But what happens if the intellect fails? If the charioteer is asleep at the wheel?
Well, that's the central warning of the Upanishad. When the rider, the self, lacks understanding and the intellect is dim, the mind goes uncontrolled. Then the senses don't obey. They're like wild horses.
And the whole chariot just goes off the road.
Exactly. That person fails to reach the destination. They just get lost in the fields of desire and distraction, and they stay mortal.
So a skilled intellect, it's not just about yanking the reins, is it?
No, not at all. A skilled charioteer uses discernment. It knows the ultimate purpose of the journey. It chooses the path to the destination over all those tempting side roads of immediate pleasure. It directs with wisdom.
This direction seems to lead to a kind of hierarchy, a chain of command that you have to follow to get control. Where does that chain start?
It's an inward journey, from the gross to the subtle. You start with the most obvious things, the horses.
The senses.
Right. Higher than the senses is the mind. If the mind is disciplined, it controls the horses. But you have to go deeper. Higher than the mind is the essence, or the inner being.
Wait, hold on. The essence. How is that different from the mind?
The mind is moment-to-moment thought and feeling. The essence is the stable ground beneath the mind. It's the structure of your awareness, your fundamental tendencies. You have to manage not just your thoughts, but the very nature of your consciousness.
Okay. Senses, then mind, then this deep-seated essence. What's next?
Higher than that essence is the immense self. This is often seen as the cosmic mind, the totality of existence. It's the highest level of personal identity before you dissolve into the unmanifest.
So we've gone from our individual senses all the way up to the cosmic framework of reality.
We have. And higher than the immense self is the unmanifest, the raw potentiality from which everything emerges. And then finally,
The highest place.
higher than the unmanifest is the ultimate person. This ultimate reality pervades everything, but it has no marks, no characteristics. It's the foundational source, eternal and unchanging.
That path sounds incredibly difficult, peeling back layer after layer of reality.
Oh, it is. It's described with a vivid and honestly a terrifying metaphor. The path is like crossing a razor-sharp edge.
Wow.
It requires absolute precision. But the goal, this ultimate reality, it has no sound, touch, appearance, taste, or smell. It's undecaying and eternal.
So after understanding this whole complex hierarchy, how does the seeker actually achieve this? Is there a technique?
Death gives him a powerful, tangible image. He says the inner person is the size of a thumb, and it always lives inside the hearts of men.
The individual soul.
Right, the Jiva Ātman. And the seeker has to realize that this individual soul is identical to that supreme person.
So how do you do that? It sounds a bit esoteric, like you're literally drawing something out of your body.
It's a meditative command. The seeker must draw this person out of the body with determination, like drawing a reed from a grass sheath. The drawing out is about realizing the subtle nature of the self, knowing that the immortal truth is separate from the physical body, the sheath. The key is knowing him as immortal and bright.
And that realization connects your personal struggle back to the whole cosmic reality.
Exactly. The Upanishad clarifies this with another analogy fire. Just as a single fire enters different things and takes on different shapes, a stove burner versus a forest fire, the single self within every being adapts its appearance, but remains one distinct reality. We're all just manifestations of that one essential fire.
And for Nachiketas, after all this.
The text confirms he made it, the ideal student. He received this body of knowledge, grasped it, and became free from passion and death. He attained immortality. The seeker achieved the goal.
That is a remarkable journey. We started with a simple choice, knowledge over pleasure, and ended with a detailed roadmap of the inner self. So for you, our listener, the two big takeaways are pretty clear. First, the need to choose knowledge over death's temptations. And second, the practice of self-control using that chariot model, seeing the senses as wild horses and your intellect as the guide who knows the way home.
Yes. The Katha Upanishad gives us a functional psychological model for a cosmic mystery. And I want to leave you with one final thought, one of the great paradoxes in the text. It says the highest knowledge, the ultimate self, is smaller than the size of an atom.
Infinitesimally subtle, yeah.
Yet, when describing the cosmic power of this same reality, the text says that the sun, the fire, Indra, the wind, even death himself, they all run out of fear of it. This suggests a power that's not defined by physical scale or force, but by absolute foundational truth. So, if the foundation of the entire cosmos is infinitesimally small, yet it governs everything that runs and shines, what does that tell us about where true power actually is? It invites you to think about whether you define power by outward size or by inner stillness and fundamental reality.
A compelling idea to hold on to. Thank you for guiding us through this essential text.
My pleasure.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.